A West Michigan art teacher has been honored at both the state and national level. But Miss Tran teaches her East Kentwood High School students about more than just art. Her journey from Vietnam to West Michigan is remarkable, and it's shaped the way she teaches. Michelle DeSelm sat down with her for our community conversation.
Lei Tran's story is simply remarkable. She and her family escaped the fall of Saigon, spent several months in refugee camps, then finally made their way here to Grand Rapids. In our conversation, we talked about recent hate crimes against Asians. She says it brought back some memories of her early years here in the United States.
Follow through on the arm.
It's clear, even to a visitor, how much Lei Tran loves teaching. Her students know it, and they know this is more than just a classroom. In the 20 years that she's been at East Kentwood High School, along with painting and drawing, she's taught her students to believe in themselves.
And sometimes you find that gem and you show it to them, you hold it to them and tell them, wow, I think we found your niche here. Go. And when they have that affirmation, it makes a world of difference.
Tran is a world away from where her life started in Vietnam. One of 8 children, her entire childhood was one of war. Tran was 10 years old when Saigon fell.
The day of the collapse of Vietnam, there was a tanker that plowed down the presidential palace's gate. And when we heard that on the radio, we just started the engine to our family boat and took off to sea.
But her mother and 2 of the children were still in the city trying to sell the family business. And in the chaos of the day, they were separated.
By the time she sold the business and tried to meet us at the seashore, everything was cut off. The bridges were bombed, the streets were filled with soldiers, and it's war. We waited and waited, and when we couldn't wait anymore, we just had to go. We just had to go.
So they went with nothing to their name and part of their family left behind. They were picked up by an American naval ship and taken to a refugee camp in Guam. After 2 months, they were transferred to a camp in the United States, Fort Indian Town Gap in Pennsylvania. Many of the tens of thousands of refugees waited here for months on end, but Tran's family found a friend, a local college student who taught the children English.
Toward the end of the summer, he says, I'm going back home. And we said, where's home? He says, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And my sister begged him, she said, would you please find us a church that would sponsor us so we can get out of here and start our lives? So he did.
Alger Park Church in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The family moved here September 15th, 1975.
We were just so amazed that strangers would take us in and prepared everything for us so we can start our new lives. Yes, just the change in the scenery and the life generally, you know, the privileges that are here that I didn't see in Vietnam.
She discovered art and realized she had a talent for it. Her biggest supporters were her teachers, who encouraged her to pursue art through high school and through college. And after raising her 3 daughters, Tran took on the role of teacher herself. She wants her students to see that art is more than just learning a brushstroke. Today, she's working with students on scarves for the upcoming Asian Festival, teaching them to paint on silk, but more importantly, to celebrate their heritage. After recent incidents of Asian hate around the country, Tran finds herself reliving ugly lessons she learned as a 10-year-old girl new to America, lessons she thought were in her past.
Not a day goes by where me and my Vietnamese peers were called names and were bullied and mocked and humiliated. Just stirred up in my head again when all of this happened.
She says the old wounds have opened up, but she wants her students to know that the way to heal them is to focus on the broader picture, to discover the way the textures of everyone they know weave together to create a beautiful piece of art.
We are made up of so many different people that have chosen America to settle. That's the strength of America. That's the beauty of America. Why? Why choose an ugly path? Why choose hate when you can have love?
Now, you're probably wondering about Lei Tran's mother and her 2 other siblings. In 1985, after 10 years of trying, they finally were able to come to the United States. For Community Conversation, I'm Michelle DeSelms.